Hello guys, my name is TamorsGR and today I represent to you my Krawler deck profile. Crawlers are a series of earth insect type monsters they have a flip effect. Flip effect means that when you set them in face down defense position, when they are attacked or when it's your turn to summon them, you flip them face up and apply their effects. Now this is a very easy and very cheap deck to build because it costs maybe 10 to 20 euros and maybe less or a little bit more in dollar. So, well, without further ado, let's begin. First, we play one Deus Ex Krawler. Deus Ex Krawler is the most important monster of the entire deck because when it's summoned, when it's summoned, doesn't have any effect other than if it's destroyed, you can add one level 9 or lower monster from your deck directly to your hand. But we don't use this effect. We use it for the other effect. When this card is face down defense position and is flipped face up, quick effect, if something targets it, it changes to face up defense and negates the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Also, while this card is flipped face up with this effect in the monster zone, any effects that the opponent activates in their field, monster effects only, it's negated. So it's a skill drain for your opponent, and with 3000 booty, it's very difficult to pass it by. Next, we play 3 Krawler Dendrite. Dendrite is oh, it's my German accent if you hear that. Dendrite is a monster that when it's flipped face up, you can send one monster from your deck to your graveyard. It's a foolish barrier for the deck and it's very nice. Also, any Krawler has this effect in their monster counterpart, which is if this face-up card in the owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 2 Krawler monsters with different names from your deck in face-down defense position. So that means we only use their effects once per turn. So once per turn, the best thing you can do is either send one monster to the graveyard, either add 2 Krawlers to your hand, add 1 Krawler to your hand, or flip and special summon 1 Krawler monster from your hand or graveyard, and also 1 MST and 1 Raigeki break effect. So it's very nice and very good to have to clear boards and provide with a little bit of a support. Next we play Ravier. Ranvier is a monster that when it's flipped, you can target 2 Krawlers monsters in your graveyard, add them to the hand, as I stated before, and has the same effect as all the other Krawlers. Next we play 3 Receptor. You add 1 Krawler monster from your deck to your hand. This is the Stratos of the deck, but it's not the most important monster. The most important monster of the deck, in my opinion, is Glial. Glial is a monster that it special summons 2 Krawler monsters directly from your hand or graveyard. That means Link monsters and also the Krawler Ex Deus as fast as possible. Next, we play 3 Axon, the MST of the deck. And we play the 3 Spine to destroy the opponent's monsters. So yeah, it's very good, but they target, so that's a minus, but they are very cheap and very easy built to have. And next we play as a hand trap of choice, Parasite Paranoid, because as a quick effect, we can target 1 face-up monster on the field and equip this card from our hand to the target. The equipped monster becomes Insect, and it cannot attack insect monsters. Oh, also, its effects that activate the target's insect monsters are negated, and also if this equipped card is sent to a graveyard, you can spell summon 1 level 7 or higher insect directly from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. That's good to special summon other monsters, but and the Deus in case you need it, but it's more of a hand trap in this build. Next we play the greatest foolish burial in the entire game, World Legacy Survivor. Well, excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do that, add 1 excavated Krawler or World Legacy card to your hand. We only have Krawlers in this build. And otherwise, shuffle the excavated cards into the deck, and for the rest of the turn, after this card is solved, you can spell summon monster from your extra deck except clicked monsters. So that means it's the best card in the entire deck, because you can add anything, set your grave, and then passed by initiative to your opponent. So it's very good and very stable in all Krawler builds. 1 terraforming to add our field spell. 3 warm bait to go to our link place as soon as possible. 1 monster reborn to revive our crawlers or the opponent's deck monsters, in the graveyard. 1 dark hole, nuke wipe, board wipe. You can change it and replace it with anything that you like. Next we play 1 scapegoat. This card is 1 card, 2 crawler monsters or the entire combo in case it's pop off, or in the worst case scenario a very good defensive tool to provide with a bit of support in the build. And for the spells, we play alongside 2 War Legacy in Shadow. Our crawlers monsters gain 300 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can spell summon 1 level 2 or lower insect from your hand in face up or face down defense position. And also monsters that, when your flip monster is destroyed by battle and with an opponent's monster, you can send that one monster to the graveyard. So it's very good and provides a lot of support to the deck and the build, so you can pass by almost anything. For the traps, we play very stable traps. 3 Lost Winds to send them to the graveyard with our World Legacy Survivor. 3 World Legacy's Mind Melt. It changes the opponent's monster effect to target 1 crawler you control and return to the hand, so that will proc the effects of all crawler monsters to set up your board even more. And last but not least, we play 3 World Legacy Pawns. I forgot to mention that if you have a link monster in the field and it has a point that it can link, it has a marker in a monster zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard and spell summon 1 crawler monster from your hand, deck or graveyard. So it's very good and very neat. And last but not least, World Legacy Pawns is a card that you can target 1 face down monster you control, change it to face up attack or defense position to proc the flip effects, and also once per turn you can either activate 1 of these effects per turn. You can target 1 crawler monster in your graveyard, return it back to the hand, and if you do that, you can change 1 monster you control to face down defense position to flip them back to proc the effects more times. Next, we play for the extra deck 1 Phantom Knights of the Cursed Javelin to make the opponent lose his attack and goes to 0 to pass it by in case we need it. It doesn't have the other effects, so that's the only thing that we use for that monster. And next we play for the links 1 Seraphim Papillion. Papillion is a monster that it gains 200 attack for each counter on it, and the counters that it gains as follows. If this card is link summoned, you place 1 counter for each instant monster you use for its link material. This means the entire deck. And also, quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card, summon 1 level 4 or lower instant monster from your graveyard back in defense position. So it's very good as a one-off to have a reborn effect, and it's also very good. We don't usually go, but it's nice to have. Next we play 1 Subterror Behemoth Fiendness. Again, it's a one-off that we don't use most of the time, and I won't say its effects because it's a big one, but it needs to flip some monsters to spell summon, and it's why not to put in the build. Now for the staple link monsters, we play 3 of almost anything. 3 Cleark, 3 Neverghost, and last but not least, Krawler Synapses. Well, they have a combo with these 3 guys, so the most important thing of all of these are Cleark, and as long as Cleark has 3 effects, that goes as follows. Well, the 3 monsters share the same effect, which is, if this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, that means your Mind Melt has this effect, well, you can spell summon 2 crawler monsters with different names from your graveyard and spell summon them in face down defense position. That means they will proc their effects, they will you send it to the graveyard to summon it again on the next turn if they don't have a follow-up, and also it has a little bit of a clear board in case you have Spine or Action. Next, if you have 2 monsters plus crawler monsters, all monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. That's staple, it's very easy. 4 or more, your opponent cannot activate any effects during the battle phase. Now you are telling me that, okay, why on the battle phase though? And at 6 or more Krawlers, that means your entire board have Krawler monsters, and you can have the same monsters, it's not that it specifies different names. Your monsters can attack directly. That means all monsters gain 300 attack, they can attack directly, and your opponent can't activate on the battle phase any effect. So you finish the game pretty much at that point. Now, for Never Goes, if this card bundles on one monster, any battle damage that they inflict to your opponent or Krawler monsters, it's doubled. So it's very good, and Synapses is a monster that gives an opponent 2 attacks per battle phase. So basically you can attack, apply the effects 2 times, and also double piercing, but we don't use this effect often, but they're surely very good in case you need them to be. And next we play one Firefighting Dramadol to special summon with our Kribo, accompanied by Proxy Dragon. Now this is here because we prefer to have a little bit of a defense in case we need it. And last, Injector Papilla Pico Falena, because to return it back to our deck, 3 monsters to draw 1, it's very good and very neat. And that's the whole build. Have a nice day, guys. See you again. Bye bye.